Cobra Kai Season 6 will mark the end of the Karate Kid sequel series, but there are several prequel options to continue the franchise. In this video, I want us to talk about how the Cobra Kai franchise can continue with some prequel series ideas. But before we go all wax on, wax off, I'd like to say hello guys and gals, I'm Nick, and welcome to Furthy's Feedback. So, Johnny Lawrence's story was the perfect way to return to the iconic universe that started with Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi back in the 1980s. The modern setting combined with the campy 80s action was something everyone didn't know they needed. With Cobra Kai coming to a satisfying close, audiences are ready for whatever comes next, and a prequel would be the next logical option. Even the stars of the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai have voiced their hope that the franchise will continue, with actor Ralph Macchio via Collider calling it the Karate Kid Cinematic Universe. He stated that there were other spin-off ideas currently in talks, though nothing has officially been settled on. Regardless of what the minds behind the franchise think up, it's clear that there is something audiences love about good old-fashioned nostalgia mixed with martial arts. So once Cobra Kai Season 6 is concluded, it seems only a matter of time before a fun prequel idea is announced, and it could be one of several possibilities. A Cobra Kai prequel set in the 1980s. One of the best aspects of Cobra Kai is the 1980s nostalgia. The original Karate Kid movies have become just as iconic of the decade as films like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Goonies, and the Netflix series knows it. So it perfectly combined a modern setting with the feel of the 80s. This, as well as other popular throwback movies and series, has resulted in an uptick in nostalgia within popular culture, both for individuals who lived through those years and those who have only seen them on screen. For this reason, a new series set in the 1980s could be the Karate Kid franchise's next big move. This could centre back on the glory days of the Cobra Kai dojo and bring back a young John Kreese in a way that could better reflect his potential Cobra Kai redemption. Of course, this would be difficult to do since the Netflix series has already done several flashback episodes that tell Kreese's story, and it would be hard to see the Cobra Kai dojo without star student Johnny Lawrence. However, a retro-based prequel could be an easy hit with the right idea. A Karate Kid prequel following Mr. Miyagi's father. Cobra Kai embraced the 80s nostalgia, but their next installment of the Karate Kid franchise could be a throwback in an entirely different way. A prequel series following Mr. Miyagi's father would be set in Okinawa, Japan, likely in the late 1800s to early 1900s. Given this setting, it could be fun for the series to structure itself like an old-style samurai movie that would follow the reformation of Japan and the evolution of its empire, which could mean some classic campy action and drama. Though little is known about Mr. Miyagi's father, the Karate Kid 2 revealed that he had been a fisherman and a wise karate master. This amount of information means that the showrunners could create a character all their own to lead the series, and the plot could go in countless different directions. Of course, since this Miyagi is the one who taught Daniel LaRusso sensei everything he knew, audiences could expect to see familiar moves like the famous crane kick all the way back at its inception. A Karate Kid prequel following Daniel LaRusso's father. Daniel LaRusso's father died before the start of the Karate Kid, and audiences didn't learn much about him until the Karate Kid 2 when Daniel told Mr. Miyagi about him to comfort his sensei regarding his own dying father. Once again, the vague details surrounding this character would allow for endless creative liberties. For example, it could be interesting if Daniel, in a modern setting, were to discover that his father had secretly been a karate expert in his day, which could segue into a series of throwbacks to the days when Mr. LaRusso was learning and competing in martial arts. The best part of this idea is that the Karate Kid franchise could dive into the nostalgia of a different decade. A story featuring a young adult Mr. LaRusso would likely be set in the 1970s, so audiences could expect to see lots of bell-bottoms, Led Zeppelin and disco music. Moreover, more information about Daniel's father could help explain how he became the teenager everyone knew and loved in The Karate Kid. Plus, the news that the man had been a karate master would explain how Daniel became an All-Valley winner in his first year of learning karate. An All-Valley tournament prequel following several dojos. Since Johnny Lawrence opened Cobra Kai, several other karate dojos have come out of the woodwork. This has become a prominent feature of later seasons in Cobra Kai, since the rivalries between these dojos and their matches at the All-Valley tournament have been at the centre of the series. Going into Cobra Kai Season 6, it will be interesting to see how many dojos and their owners are left standing. Since this feature of Cobra Kai was so successful as a plot device, it could be especially fun to explore the dojos that have participated in the All-Valley in years past. The tournament was at the centre of both the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, so it will be a comfortable and familiar sight for fans, no matter the decade in which the prequel is set. If the prequel series followed several dojos and perhaps the creation of the All-Valley tournament to help them sort out their disputes, audiences could watch dramatised karate matches to their heart's content. A Mr. Miyagi prequel show set across several decades. The most requested Karate Kid prequel by fans and the most likely to happen is a Mr. Miyagi prequel. The wise sensei behind Daniel-san's success was a man of few words, but the Karate Kid movies still managed to make his past so intriguing that fans have been asking for more information for years. The details of his upbringing in Okinawa, his rivalries, his loves, and his karate victories all promise an entertaining and action-filled series. A Mr. Miyagi prequel series which could span several decades, not to mention countries, is not only the most logical option for another Karate Kid spin-off, but it has earned the seal of approval from the franchise's biggest star. How do we not explore the backstory and the origin of Mr. Miyagi? Makio told Screen Rant. In the end, he's right. The perfect follow-up to Cobra Kai's success would be to explore who Mr. Miyagi had really been and how he ended up a maintenance worker for Daniel's apartment in Reseda. It's a story too intriguing to pass up. What do you guys think? Can you think of any other prequel ideas? And do you think they will go with the Mr. Miyagi prequel series in the end? Let me know below.